What up, YouTube? Coming at y'all in the BMF video. Just wanted to give y'all a little more of a conversation about the concept of my 93 GT Performer build. Just a little more in-depth explanation on, what I was thinking when I started building it. Kind of where I'm going with it or whatever. But yeah, so this is my 93 GT Performer that I built as a 94. Pretty much because a 94 has the same frame for the most part as a 93. When I originally got this bike, I knew it was a 93, and I was actually looking for 93 decals, and at the time I couldn't find them. So I went with the next best thing, which was a 94. So my concept for this bike was pretty much to build it as a 94 with upgrades. So this is my 94 GT Performer right here. This one actually is a 94. It's 100% original. The only thing that I did change on it was the tires, and I do have the original tires. They just dry rotted, obviously, from age. But this thing, as you can see, is super original and super clean. I haven't polished it. It does need to be polished, but even with that, you can see how bright and vibrant the chrome still is. Super clean. Like I said, 100% original, even down to the grips. A lot of people got original bikes, but these are always, like gum and soft and sticky. But these are still in good shape. The actual little logos are not worn or nothing. All of the reflectors still on there. The ones on the mags, the one on back of the seat, and the one on the actual handlebars. But yeah, so this bike is super original. So I pretty much didn't want to change anything on this bike. And when I first got it, I kind of thought about it, but it's such a time capsule. Like, I actually bought this bike from the original owner, as I said in the previous video. And I guess, if he was, while he was a kid or whatever, maybe he was busy, maybe he got in trouble a lot, I don't know, but he didn't ride this bike much at all. Most of us as kids, we would have been took the reflectors off. When I got this bike, it was the seat was super lowered, so you could tell he didn't ride it since he was a kid. I had this bike about 15 years myself, and this bike was never kept outdoors, and I didn't keep it outdoors either. I mean, you could obviously tell it wasn't kept outdoors. But yeah, let's get back into the concept. So my concept for this bike, for the blue bike, is so since I didn't want to, tamper with this bike, I figured I would build me a 94 and pretty much do a catalog accessory build. So that means not just buying random aftermarket parts. That means buying period correct parts that you could have gotten. Like, let's just say you bought a bike back in '94 and you open up a catalog and just ordered up some things you wanted to change on the original bike. So that's my concept with this one. So that way, let's just say I did take these to a show, I can have an example of the one that's 100% original, and then you can look at this one and see how much was actually modified. So with that being said, let's go back to this one. This one's super dirty too, needs to be cleaned up. But again, you can see how nice that powder coat is. The pearl kind of coming through. They got like a silver pearl in it. But yeah, so obviously the 3-piece crank, I did go with the stock sprocket. I am going to put the big GT logo sprocket because that was like a period correct accessory. I went with the Primos because that was more correct than just getting the GT Power Series, because the Power Series was more of an 80s and an early 90s thing. So I figured I would get the Primo cranks. They did have a GT crank that was more correct for this year, but I actually preferred the Primos. I did change the chain. As you can see, this chain has a different shape. That was something you could have got. I did put a chain tensioner on the back. I am going to put some Tech 77 levers on it. I'm going to try to find some 90s dated Japan stamp Tech 77s, because they did have them in the 90s too. What else? Just little stuff like, the gyro decals and things like that. Has a pitbull brake, just like this one. Let me show y'all the difference why I got the bikes out of the frames. One thing that I noticed anyway, So if you look at the mounting on this pit bull brake, you see it's more squared. This is a 94. That's one way you could tell. It's more squared. I don't know if you can see it. This right here, where my finger's at. That's the bridge. Then you look at the 93. On the 93, see it's round. Like it's more like this bridge. It's rounded. So that was pretty much the only difference in the location of the serial number. But other than that, if you look at the shapes of the bikes, exactly the same. Top tube lengths exactly the same. Like a lot of the components exactly the same. The only real noticeable difference between a 93 and a 94 from the factory would have had Tomahawk mags on this one and the decals. Other than that, everything else, all the components would have had. They both had dyno stems from the factory. They wouldn't have had the same handlebars, same seats. But yeah, like I say, just the wheels and the decals would have been the only different thing from 93 to 94. But yeah, man, just wanted to give y'all a little kind of an explanation, a better explanation on where I was going with this bike. So a lot of people probably didn't get what I was saying when I was saying I just wanted to do like an upgraded 94. So basically just doing pretty much all the stuff to this bike. I mean, to this bike that I didn't want to do to this bike pretty much, because like I say, this is as close as you can get into, getting the time machine, going back to late 93 and buying this bike. Ironically, this bike is actually dated 93 because that's how they did a lot of them. Some of them was dated 93, some of them was dated 94. So this is like an early 94. And this one was actually dated 92. So that's like an early 93, I believe. But yeah. All right, y'all. Just wanted to give y'all a little update on that. This thing needs to be clean. As you can see, it's like super dusty. Like I said, I'll probably go in there and just wipe it down. I need to actually get some more chrome polish for this one so I can actually polish out the chrome. I usually do it every so often, but kind of been slacking. This one just been sitting in storage. So it's kind of, I did take like just a regular little fiber rag. Kind of ironically it's green like the bike, and kind of just been, polishing on it some. As you can see, this one actually got the GT stamp bars on it too. These are the correct reflectors also. So a lot of times people don't know the difference between just putting these reflectors on. They don't be really paying attention that it's an add-on. Somebody added on to make it look original, but this one right here is actually what came with the bike. But yeah, man, like I said, just need to be kind of cleaned up or whatever. But for the most part, man, this thing super clean, as well as that one. But obviously that one's been powder coated. But yeah, man, just wanted to make a quick little video. I ain't talking about too much, but oh yeah, you can see like the factory, not the factory, the bike shop logo. This was like a local bike, as you can see. I don't know if it can zoom in or not, but came out of Glendale, California. So that's maybe like 30 miles away. But all right, y'all.